Please be seated. Good morning. My name is Chad Miller, and I'm the Senior Associate Dean of Undergraduate Medical Education at St. Louis University School of Medicine. It is an honor to welcome you to the annual pre-commencement ceremony. We are thrilled to honor the School of Medicine class of 2023 today and highlight their tremendous accomplishments. Erin Fitzpatrick, Associate Director of Campus Ministry, will give the invocation.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Thank you. We have a tendency to say thank you because it's expected or it's a social norm. But St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, encourages us to be more intentional about gratitude. In fact, he places a thank you at the beginning of the examen prayer. This prayer is a short review of your day, prayed once or twice each day. But before scanning throughout the day's events, St. Ignatius instructs us to stop and thank God for anything particular that stands out, the large or small. I may thank God for a moment with a friend, a moment of growth, or a positive feeling. As graduates of St. Louis University, you are called to go forth and set the world on fire. In full awareness that we are not alone on our journey, let us take a few seconds in silence to be filled with gratitude for the people and experiences that have brought us to this place today. May a spirit of thanksgiving guide us as we celebrate your achievements, and may gratitude help us move humbly and joyfully throughout every day. Amen.
It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Christine Jacobs, Dean of the School of Medicine and Vice President of Medical Affairs at St. Louis University School of Medicine. Dr. Jacobs.
Good morning. Students, faculty, family, and friends, welcome to this remarkable celebration on which we bestow the degree of Doctorate of Medicine on these 180 students. Today, students, you will enter a profession of service and lifelong learning. Your journey will be unique, but you all share a calling to care for each of your patients with the highest degree of compassion and integrity. You will be honored and humbled by the trust of your patients and your community. You will be challenged by the complexity of the science of medicine. You will experience the joy of a patient's recovery and the sorrow when your efforts fall short. Today, we're proud to celebrate with you both the culmination of 4 years of work and the beginning of your sacred calling as physicians. As we celebrate this auspicious day, I would like to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Heather Schmidt. Dr. Schmidt is a family physician in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. She trained at Midwestern University, Chicago College of Osteopathic Medicine and completed her residency at Exempla St. Joseph's Hospital in 2005. In 2013, she became the Medical Director of Health and Wellness at Agnesian Healthcare. Since 2020, Dr. Schmidt has been the SSM System Medical Director of Healthy Work and Wellbeing. She has collaborated with organizational partners to infuse well-being into ongoing initiatives, including leadership development, continuous improvement, and patient safety. She has been instrumental in the design and implementation of the SSM Healthcare for Caregivers peer support system and system-wide Schwartz rounds. Dr. Schmidt currently serves on the Healthy Fond du Lac County Board of Health and as the medical advisor for the Fond du Lac County Public Health Department, as well as the Catholic Healthcare Association Wellbeing Task Force. She is a passionate advocate for all things wellness, including improving the way we work to improve the health of our employees, clinicians, and patients. She continues her medical practice by offering wellness consultations in integrative health with a special interest in behavioral health and weight management. Her hobbies include spending time with her husband, Ryan, and her 2 daughters, Solveig and Sadie, mostly on the ski hill and boating the many lakes of Wisconsin. Please welcome our graduation speaker, Dr. Heather Schmidt.
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here, and thank you so much for having me. And I'm actually just so grateful to see all of you sitting here. We are so excited to have you joining the field of medicine. So congratulations first. I just want to start with that. So this is a time of change. So I don't know about you, but sometimes change can be a little scary. And so when I think about change, there's some good things about change, right? And I think there's this quote that I've often seen on those signs and gift shops that say, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." So what's that mean? What change do you want to see? What change are you thinking that you can bring to the field of medicine? How can you do this in a way that's going to allow you to lead the way and be able to make a difference? So let's think about that. Medicine is really challenging. And change, like I said, is scary. Maybe you're sitting here and thinking, oh no, I'm a little nervous. I am now called doctor. Or you know what? I'm a little nervous because I'm going to be moving across the country and starting a whole new life somewhere else, maybe away from my family and friends and my normal support network. Or maybe you're just thinking, no, you know what? I'm okay. I feel like this change is good. I'm excited about this. I'm ready for this, and I'm ready to take on my next adventure of residency. So, when we think about leaving a place like medical school, I'm going to give you a challenge. So we're going to, is it light the world on fire? Is that what it is? Yeah. You're going to light the world on fire. But then I also want to challenge you to be agents of change, okay? So I want you to think about what can you bring to medicine that makes it a better place, that makes it better not only for our patients and our communities, but for each other and for our colleagues. Physician well-being is a big deal. And it's actually something that I'm sure you've read articles about. Burnout, maybe you've felt it, maybe you've actually seen it, or maybe you have worked with colleagues already in your rotations that you're thinking, oh no, what am I gonna happen? What's gonna happen to me? Am I gonna feel like this in a couple years? So I wanna kind of think about that as that agents of change and as leaders. So physicians are automatically leaders. We are looked to make decisions, to lead teams, to really be able to lead our patients to a better life. And we're not necessarily trained as leaders. Do you feel like you've had leadership training? I did not feel like, after all of my training, I was like, oh man, automatically we're these leaders and I didn't get any training for this. So I thought, what I'm going to talk about is my favorite leadership framework. Because, we don't have much time, but I can give you a few tips and really think about how can I be the leader I want to be. Dr. Tate Shanafelt is an expert in physician well-being. He has spent the majority of his career really researching different interventions and things that really matter when it comes to well-being. And one of the biggest things he has been able to find, as well as other researchers in this area, is that leadership matters. And so he developed a framework that's actually called wellness-centered leadership. So this wellness-centered leadership framework is a triangle. And at the foundation or the base of the triangle is caring for people always. So of course, right, we're physicians. We care for people. This is what we do. We know how to do this. But are we good at caring for ourselves too? Are we actually saying, okay, I need to actually be that role model for my patients, for my colleagues, for my staff? Am I that person that's like actually leading the way, right? Am I doing what I'm telling other people to do? And often, maybe you all, hopefully your generation's better at this than mine, but we have not historically been great at taking care of ourselves first. So I'm going to challenge you. The next couple years, or I'm not sure what residency you're doing, but might be more than a couple, it's going to be hard. Residency is hard, but it is really a great time. And so I'm going to think about it like, you're running a race, and your career is your marathon, and you have to do training. And so this is that high interval training, right? This is that time that you're really doing the hard work so that you can run that race without any difficulty. This is that time that in between periods of rest, you're able to kind of regroup, rejuvenate a little bit, and then get back out there. So it's time that you're going to be tired, you're going to be exhausted, you're going to be like sleep deprived. So when you can, get the sleep. When you can, get outside, get fresh air, move your body, and make sure you eat. The number of people that don't eat, it's not good. You have to fuel your body. So those are the basic things, right? But other things, lean into your faith. Stay connected to your support network. Remember what works for you, and even write it down as a pathway so that you can reference it when you're really feeling like you're completely overwhelmed and stressed. So the next level of this leadership framework is fostering relationships. Relationships matter. So relationships matter with each individual, and relationships matter with our teams. And relationships matter with our patients, right? We need to have really good, solid relationships. So look to your left. Well, all of you are looking to your left. That's not going to work. Well, how about, okay, look at each other. And remember these faces. These faces are people that have gone through an incredibly difficult but shared experience with you. So they're going to be people you can connect with going forward. So I just urge you to stay connected. The other thing is when you get into residency, be vulnerable. Like, get to know your residency colleagues, because these people you're going to spend way too much time with. Probably more than your spouse or partner, you're going to be seeing these residency buddies. So make sure you actually get to know them. Try to find a way to have fun with them. Try to make sure that you're sharing if, it's okay to not be okay. So speak up if you need some assistance or you need somebody just to listen. So it is really important to foster those relationships. I will tell you, some of my best friends are still my residency colleagues. And we just got back from California, actually. I was just with them last week. So now, you are also going to spend a lot of time in the hospital. So think about those people you're working with in the hospital. We have nurses, we have chaplains, we have leaders, we have food service employees, we need to get to know them all. They can make your life better, especially the nurses. So please, if you can take one tip away from this, and you remember one thing I say, be nice to your nurses. Because if you're nice to them, they will be nice to you. And they know way more than we do when we first get started. So make sure you honor that and respect that. So the other piece is stay connected to your existing relationships. Find a way to stay connected. It's going to be hard. You're really busy. But if you can find ways to stay connected to those people that have been your support system this way through, then you're going to know you have that safety net, because we want to make sure we're building in that support all around us. So resilience. We are all resilient, and everybody kind of bristles when we hear the word resilience, right? But I actually learned this, I'd call it a mathematical equation, from a psychiatrist I worked with actually during COVID, that resilience is actually equal to support over stress. So as stress levels rise, what happens if you don't have the support, right? It's harder to maintain that resilience on the other side. And so make sure that you build, and totally just build in that support network. It is really, really important. So that top of that leadership framework, that tip of the triangle, is actually inspire change. So this is where we're going to circle back to that change. So think about that. You're taking care of yourself. You're caring for other people. You've built these relationships on trust and communication, right? And so you are going to inspire change. So you're going to inspire change with your patients. They're going to want to work along with you. They're going to want to improve their health if they have a good, solid relationship with you as their physician. The teams that you're working with, you're going to foster this amazing work because you're all working for the greater good if you are built on really those trusting relationships and good, clear, transparent communication. And then you're also going to be able to work to really change things with your leaders, because our leaders want to be our partners. They want us to actually help them change healthcare. So with that, I'm going to go through a series of B's, right? Change doesn't have to be scary, but it's inevitable. Anxiety comes from uncertainty. And so when we're uncertain and we don't have that sense of control, then we get a little bit more anxious about it. So control what you can. And one of those things is how you respond to things, your attitude towards change. So be brave, be vulnerable, be curious, and be the change. So good luck and congratulations, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Schmidt, for that inspiring presentation. At this point, I would like to introduce the members of the stage party. And if you'll rise when I call your name. Dr. Chad Miller, Senior Associate Dean of Undergraduate Medical Education. Dr. Adam Mirando, Associate Dean of Student Affairs. Erin Fitzpatrick, Assistant Director of Campus Ministry. Dr. Linda Morrison, Assistant Dean of Pre-Clerkship Curriculum. Dr. Deb Schindler, Assistant Dean of Program Evaluation and Assessment. Dr. Jerry Dwyer, University Trustee. Dr. Robert Wilmot, Dean Emeritus. Dr. Phil Anderson, Dean Emeritus. Dr. Patricia Monteleone, Dean Emeritus. Dr. Timothy Havens, Assistant Dean, Clinical Skills. Dr. Fred Rotnick, Professor and Director of Community Medicine. Dr. Johan Bester, Associate Dean of Pre-Clerkship Curriculum. Dr. Hiro Choksi, Associate Dean of Admissions. Dr. Tyler Deshawn, Assistant Dean of Student Affairs. Dr. Julie Gamick, Senior Associate Dean of Graduate Medical Education. Lisa Israel, Director of the Office of Professional Oversight. Dr. Catherine Matthews, Associate Dean of Health Systems Science. Dr. Marilyn Maxwell, Assistant Dean of Admissions. Dr. Jane McCowett, Associate Dean, Faculty Affairs and Professional Development. Dr. Timothy Morrell, Program Director, Pipeline Development and Student Engagement. Dr. Michael Raley, Assistant Dean, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Dr. Lauren Schwartz, Assistant Dean of Student Affairs. Dr. Kenesha Thompson, Assistant Dean of Student Affairs. Dr. Katrina Wade, Interim Associate Dean of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Our academic department chairs are visionary leaders of the School of Medicine. Many of them are with us today, and I would like to introduce them at this time. Dr. Jeffrey Brown, Department of Radiology, Dr. Oscar Cruz, Chair, Department of Ophthalmology, Dr. Eric Macias, Chair, Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Neuroscience, Dr. Ravi Nayak, Interim Chair, Department of Internal Medicine, Dr. Howard Place, Chair of Department of Orthopedic Surgery, Dr. Catherine Robbins, Interim Chair, Department of Pathology, Dr. Kimberly Scheel, Acting Chair of the Department of Family Medicine, Dr. Samir Siddiqui, Chair, Department of Surgery, Dr. Andrew White, Chair, Department of Pediatrics.
We will now proceed with the recognition of our graduates and the vesting of their doctoral hoods. The color or colors with which the hood is constructed indicate two things. The satin lining is that of the college or university which granted the wearer's degree. For example, St. Louis University is known by the blue chevron on a field of white. The velvet edging signifies the field of study of the faculty granting the degree. For example, dark blue might signal the Doctor of Philosophy degree, where green signals the degree of medicine. For the recipients of the Doctor of Medicine, I will call each student by name and announce the specialty that they have selected and the location of their advanced training. You will find the honors and awards earned by each student listed in the program. This year, students were given the opportunity to identify faculty, family, and mentors to bestow their doctoral hoods. If you are present to hood a student, please join your student when they rise to approach the stage prior to their name being called. The marshals will assist in guiding you towards the stage. Otherwise, we have two faculty hooders for students that we would like to take this opportunity to recognize for their dedication to the education of students at St. Louis University School of Medicine. First, Dr. Deborah Schindler, an anthropologist and instructional designer by training, is the Assistant Dean of Program Evaluation and Assessment and will be retiring at the end of this month. She has served the School of Medicine for nearly 21 years and played an integral role in the operations, curriculum, innovation, and assessment. The second is Dr. Linda Morrison, Assistant Dean of the Pre-Clerkship Curriculum. Dr. Morrison is a PhD researcher on drug development using novel small molecule inhibitors of herpes simplex virus replication. She's worked at the School of Medicine for nearly 28 years and taught numerous pre-clerkship courses. In 2018, she became the Associate Dean of Pre-Clerkship Curriculum and played an integral role in curriculum innovation and development over the past 5 years. She's in the process of phased retirement. Students, please remember to bring your note card to the stage with you. If you have an invited hooder, please hand them your hood prior to stepping on the stage. Otherwise, you will hand your hood to either Dr. Schindler or Dr. Morrison, and they will bestow the hood on you. From there, please process across the stage to Dr. Jacobs and Dr. Schmidt, and then down the ramp and back to your seats. For those in the audience, students wearing green and gold cords are those who are members of the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Medical Society. To everyone here, I ask that you please hold your applause until all students have been introduced and recognized. Doctors Morrison and Schindler, would you please take your places? Dr. Jacobs and Schmidt, would you also take your places? Christina Wesley Anderson. She'll be doing emergency medicine at the University of Texas in Houston, Texas. David Aniki. He'll be doing internal medicine at Emory University School of Medicine in Atlanta, Georgia. Austin Armstrong. Otolaryngology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Michelle Bach, Psychiatry and Research at Emory University School of Medicine. She will also be receiving her PhD hood from her mentor, Dr. Jeffrey Bishop. And her PhD thesis was Disorder and Beauty, Personality, Pathology, Aesthetics, and the New Ethical Resources in the Practice of Psychiatry. Malachi Barnett, Family Medicine, Ascension St. Vincent Hospital, Indianapolis, Indiana. Dominic Barisi, Urology, University of Missouri School of Medicine, Columbia, Missouri. Henna Bazai, Family Medicine, Campbell University, Conway, South Carolina. Thomas Bell, Family Medicine, University of Tennessee, School of Medicine, Knoxville, Tennessee. Adatade Bello, General Surgery, University of Washington, Affiliated Hospitals, Seattle, Washington. Shivam Banvudia, Family Medicine, Abrazo Health Network, Phoenix, Arizona. Rohith Bhatt, Urology, University of California, Irvine, Orange, California. Swetha Bupatharaju, Psychiatry, Mayo Clinic School of Graduate Medical Education, Rochester, Minnesota. Matthew Bocamper, Diagnostic Radiology, Baptist Memorial Medical Center, Memphis, Tennessee. Kendra Brown, Anesthesiology, Yale New Haven Hospital, New Haven, Connecticut. David Cha, Pre-Residency Fellowship, Associated Eye Care, St. Paul, Minnesota. Shivang Chowdhury, Internal Medicine, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Stephanie Chen, Family Medicine, Riverside University Health System, Moreno Valley, California. William Chin, Diagnostic Radiology, Loyola University Medical Center, Maywood, Illinois. Smriti Chidambaram, Otolaryngology, Allegheny General Hospital, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Gwendolyn Clark, General Surgery, Creighton University, Omaha, Nebraska. Mary Conti, Obstetrics Gynecology, Ascension St. Vincent Hospital, Indianapolis, Indiana. Cameron Cooper, Pediatrics, Albany Medical Center, Albany, New York. Urban Cornett, Family Medicine, Memorial Hospital, South Bend, Indiana. Corey Crecilius, Pathology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Rebecca Cunningham, Internal Medicine, Barnes Jewish Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. Carson Dangberg, Emergency Medicine, University of California, Irvine, Orange, California. Nikhil Das, Pre-Residency Fellowship, Cleveland Clinic, Cleveland, Ohio. Nitin Desai, Internal Medicine, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Nicholas DiCristofano, Pediatrics, Medical College of Wisconsin Affiliated Hospitals, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Jeffrey Dixon, Family Medicine, University of Central Florida, Gainesville, Florida. Jillian Drogen, Diagnostic Radiology, Loma Linda University, Loma Linda, California. Eric Du, Otolaryngology, University Hospitals, Columbia, Missouri. Kayla Eckert Harshman, Pediatrics, Case Western University Hospitals, Cleveland, Ohio. Eric Elizondo, Neurology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Diana Fan, General Surgery, Orlando Health, Orlando, Florida. Rachel Fan, General Surgery, Henry Ford Hospital, Detroit, Michigan. Lauren Gettings Farley, Obstetrics Gynecology, University of Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. Ashley Fries, Internal Medicine, Oshler Clinic Foundation, New Orleans, Louisiana. Noah Fu, Internal Medicine, Anne Arundel Medical Center, Annapolis, Maryland. Ian Galbraith, Internal Medicine, University of Maryland Medical Center, Baltimore, Maryland. Monique Gandawijaya, General Surgery, University of California, Irvine, Orange, California. Xiaoyi Renee Gao, Neurology, Emory University School of Medicine, Atlanta, Georgia. Alex Garcia, Anesthesiology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Vince Guerin, Emergency Medicine, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Michael Gavrilovic, Anesthesiology, Virginia Mason Franciscan Health Center, Seattle, Washington. Hannah Gainier, Pediatrics, MedStar Georgetown University Hospitals, Washington, D.C. Spencer Gibson, Internal Medicine, University of California, Irvine, Orange, California. Esther Gilbert, General Surgery, Eisenhower Army Medical Center, Augusta, Georgia. Aaron Goffinet, Internal Medicine, University of Chicago Medical Center, Chicago, Illinois. Michael Goulet, Anesthesiology, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, Los Angeles, California. Samuel Griffin, Neurological Surgery, University of Cincinnati Medical Center, Cincinnati, Ohio. Taylor Halcox, Internal Medicine, Medical College of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Mushkurul Huck, Internal Medicine, University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics, Iowa City, Iowa. Jack Hardman, Orthopedic Surgery, Orlando Health, Orlando, Florida. Aisha Hassan, Diagnostic Radiologist, Diagnostic Radiology, University of Texas Medical School, Houston, Texas. Miranda Hasty, Obstetrics Gynecology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Emma Herbeck Chung, Family Medicine Hospital of the University of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Rainey Horwitz, Urology, Emory University Hospital, Atlanta, Georgia. Barton Huang, Anesthesiology, University of Southern California, Los Angeles, California. Thomas Hong, Anesthesiology, Oregon Health and Science University, Portland, Oregon. Sylvia Ziling Wang, Neurology, Stanford Healthcare, Stanford, California. Benjamin Hung, Internal Medicine, University of Washington Affiliated Hospital, Seattle, Washington. Fabian Jano, Emergency Medicine, Albert Einstein Medical Center, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Prerna Jayanth, Neurology, University of Colorado School of Medicine, Denver, Colorado. Nia Rickle Johnson, Family Medicine, University of North Carolina Hospitals, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Tiffany Jew, Pediatrics, University of California, Davis Medical Center, Sacramento, California. Tae Jun Kim, Interventional Radiology, University of Washington, Affiliated Hospitals, Seattle, Washington. Christopher Knutson, Pediatrics, University of Louisville School of Medicine, Louisville, Kentucky. Bridget Kowalczyk, Interventional Radiology, University of Texas Medical School, Houston, Texas. Rohini Krishnan, Internal Medicine, Barnes-Jewish Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. Neha Kulkarni, Pediatrics, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Shreya Lamba, Urology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Megan Landsberger, Pediatrics, University of Washington, Affiliated Hospitals, Seattle, Washington. John Ladden, Internal Medicine, Barnes-Jewish Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. Jaewon Lee, Internal Medicine, University of Massachusetts, Chan School, Medical School, Worcester, Massachusetts. Worcester. Soo Hyun Lee, Internal Medicine, Greenwich Hospital, Greenwich, Connecticut. Melissa Lee, Pediatrics, University of California, Los Angeles Medical Center, Los Angeles, California. Joyce Lynn, General Surgery, University of Miami, Jackson Health System, Miami, Florida. Hendrik Lentel, Plastic Surgery, University of Texas Medical School, Houston, Texas. Chase Lidekin, Emergency Medicine, University of Texas Southwestern Medical School, Dallas, Texas. Feng Hao Lu, Family Medicine, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Kimberly Reyes Lugo, Obstetrics Gynecology, St. Joseph Hospital, Denver, Colorado. Michael Lugo, Anesthesiology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Faustine Law, Internal Medicine, University of California, Irvine Medical Center, Orange, California. Sothvik Matareddy, Internal Medicine, Brown University, Rhode Island Hospital, Providence, Rhode Island. Elise Marker, Pediatrics, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Timothy Mason, Internal Medicine, Loyola University Medical Center, Maywood, Illinois. Annika Mazumder, Dermatology, Cook County Health and Hospital System, Chicago, Illinois. Corey McLeave, Family Medicine, McGall Medical Center of Northwestern University, Chicago, Illinois. Kellen McCormick, Obstetrics Gynecology, Spectrum Health, Michigan State University, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Griffin McNamara, Interventional Radiology, University of California, Los Angeles Medical Center, Los Angeles, California. Salwa McHale, Internal Medicine, Barnes-Jewish Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. Jonathan Molman, Pediatrics, Cincinnati Children's Hospital, Cincinnati, Ohio. Daniel Morgan, Family Medicine, Michigan State University College of Human Medicine, East Lansing, Michigan. Jennifer Morgan, Pediatrics, University of California, Irvine Medical Center, Orange, California. Vikram Mueller, Emergency Medicine, Creighton University, Phoenix, Arizona. Vidul Murali, Interventional Radiology, University of Kansas School of Medicine, Kansas City, Kansas. Nicole Neely, Pediatrics, Children's Mercy Hospital, Kansas City, Missouri. Daniel Olhausen, Anesthesiology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Sydney Gabrielle O'Neill, Family Medicine, McGall Medical Center of Northwestern University, Chicago, Illinois. David Sung Hwang Park, Anesthesiology, Thomas Jefferson University, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Mayur Patel, Neurosurgery Research Fellowship, The Ohio State University, Columbus, Ohio. Neil Patel, internal medicine, University of California, San Diego Medical Center, San Diego, California. Priyanka Patel, transitional year program, University of Arkansas College of Medicine, Little Rock, Arkansas. Brittany Page Peterson, internal medicine, University of Colorado School of Medicine, Denver, Colorado. Alexandra Focus, vascular surgery, University of Washington affiliated hospitals, Seattle, Washington. Marali Polisani, pediatrics, Loma Linda University, Loma Linda, California. Taylor Preisler, obstetrics gynecology, Mercy Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. Lillian Scanlon, family medicine, Kaiser Permanente, Orange County, Santa Ana, California.
Rebecca Shaps, emergency medicine, Albert Einstein Medical Center, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Erica Schmidt, general surgery, Cleveland Clinic Foundation, Cleveland, Ohio.
Noah Schneegert, internal medicine, Mount Carmel Health System, Grove City, Ohio. Claire Schroet, neurology, University of California, Los Angeles Medical Center, Los Angeles, California. Martin Schwarzy, diagnostic radiology, The Ohio State University Medical Center, Columbus, Ohio. Uneri Shaw, pediatrics, Rush University Medical Center, Chicago, Illinois. Ziyi Shao, family medicine, University of British Columbia, Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Evan Sharp, urology, University of Utah School of Medicine, Salt Lake City, Utah. Christopher Shin, internal medicine, HCL Healthcare Tri-Star Division, Nashville, Tennessee. Zohair Siddiqui, internal medicine, University of Tennessee Health Science Center, Memphis, Tennessee. Sung Ho Sun, internal medicine, University of Nevada School of Medicine, Reno, Nevada. Eric Song, urology, University of California, Los Angeles School of Medicine, Los Angeles, California. Ian South, anesthesiology, University of Nebraska Medical Center, Omaha, Nebraska. Amanda Springer, psychiatry, University of Toledo, Toledo, Ohio. Ju Young Kang, Internal Medicine, Inova Fairfax Hospital, Falls Church, Virginia. Vruda Kansara, Internal Medicine, Barnes-Jewish Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. Prajwal Karanali, Emergency Medicine, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Noor Khatib, Pediatrics, Loyola University Medical Center, Maywood, Illinois. Benjamin Kiai, Neurology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Eric Stein, Emergency Medicine, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Anthony Steinley, Orthopedic Surgery, Medical College of Wisconsin Affiliated Hospitals, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Catherine Stewart, Emergency Medicine, Barnes-Jewish Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. Tara Tabibi, Diagnostic Radiology, McGall Medical Center of Northwestern University, Chicago, Illinois. Charlene Wei Tang, Obstetrics Gynecology, University of Chicago Medical Center, Chicago, Illinois. Aberdeen Taylor, General Surgery, University of Buffalo School of Medicine, Buffalo, New York. Akshay Thantakudi, Anesthesiology, Vanderbilt University Medical Center, Nashville, Tennessee. Jennifer Toe, Anesthesiology, Barnes-Jewish Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. James Jaewon Toe, Pediatrics, Stanford Healthcare, Stanford, California. Jerome Tuttle Roche, Pediatrics, Inova Fairfax Hospitals, Falls Church, Virginia. Johan Van Nispen, Thoracic Surgery, University of Florida College of Medicine, Gainesville, Florida. Luke Vest, Internal Medicine, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Sierra Vosen, Emergency Medicine, Barnes-Jewish Hospital, St. Louis, Missouri. Marcus Voigt, Orthopedic Surgery, Marshall University School of Medicine, Huntington, West Virginia. Matthew Wagoner, orthopedic surgery, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Catherine Wang, Urology Research Fellowship, Henry Ford Health, Detroit, Michigan. John Weeks, Diagnostic Radiology, Walter Reed National Military Medical Center, Bethesda, Maryland. Reader Wells, General Surgery, Baylor University Medical Center, Dallas, Texas. Christopher Willis, Psychiatry, Creighton University, Phoenix, Arizona. Martha Cassandra Witt, Surgery Prelim, the Metro Health System, Case Western, Cleveland, Ohio. Michaela Wyckoff, General Surgery, Mercy Medical Center, Des Moines, Iowa. Sophie Shie, Neurology, Case Western University Hospitals, Cleveland Clinic, Ohio. Jason Sheen, Diagnostic Radiology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Kevin Yang, Internal Medicine, University of Illinois College of Medicine, Peoria, Illinois. Sydney Rosenthal Elizondo, Child Neurology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Samuel Rudnick, Pediatrics, University of California, Los Angeles Medical Center, Los Angeles, California. Julia Sakash, Obstetrics Gynecology, The Ohio State University, Columbus, Ohio. Ashish Sumadar, Internal Medicine, Zucker School of Medicine, Northwell, New Hyde Park, New York. Joseph Rojo, Emergency Medicine, University of California, San Francisco, California. Hunter Robinson, Urology Research Fellowship, Vanderbilt University, Nashville, Tennessee. Emma Nicole Roberts, Pediatrics, University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics, Iowa City, Iowa. Carlos Razo, Family Medicine, Scripps Mercy Hospital, Chula Vista, California. Caitlin Pruitt, Family Medicine, St. Joseph Hospital, Denver, Colorado. Moyi Rebecca Jong, Internal Medicine, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Michael Zhang, Internal Medicine, University of Minnesota Medical School, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Lazarus Michelle Zamora, Family Medicine, Siouxland Medical Education Foundation, Sioux City, Iowa.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you the St. Louis University School of Medicine class of 2023. Well done, class of 2023, well done. I would like to invite Executive Council President David Anneke and Executive Council Vice President James Toe to the stage to give the farewell address to the class of 2023.
Good morning, everyone. My name is David Anneke. I served as a student body executive council president.
And my name is James Tao. I serve as a student body executive vice president. A quick shout out to Michael Gavilovich and Rachel Pion. They were our class presidents. All right, it's great to see everybody here, classmates, friends, family, faculty, staff. We won't take up too much of your time, but with the time we were given, we'd like to take a moment and acknowledge these past 4 years and the journey we've been on. So take a deep breath with me. We did it! You guys did it. The sheer ambition and passion in this room is palpable and borderline overwhelming.
I'm of the belief, and yes, I'm biased, that medical school is the apex of educational achievement. When we began at SLU, it was explained to us that we'd be transitioning from our position as high achievers at the top of our respective classes to average amongst this new group of highly qualified peers. This is a scary concept, even to the most confident of us. And I know personally I was intimidated by this new group of classmates I'd be working with for the next 4 years. As it turns out, this is not only the most intelligent group of people I've had the pleasure of working with, growing with, but also the most empathetic, considerate, and genuine.
Every class goes through hardships, but I will say that our class is a little bit unique in the hardships that we went through. Throughout it all, there's a theme that I believe best defines our class particularly well: adaptability and versatility. So let's take a walk down hardship lane from the last 4 years.
Oh, man, yeah. From the beginning, we knew we were in the right class when we collectively stepped out of that CMB exam, biochemistry for those that don't know, questioning if medical school was really the right decision. That thing was very hard, y'all, honestly, let's be real. And thank you to the dean staff. I'm glad we got that under control for the gracious curve.
Hey, but in all seriousness, the end of our first year saw the onset of COVID within our class and transitioning to online learning. Honestly, those first 2 weeks of hematology and oncology, I'm sorry over there, it was a blur, and taking neurology and neuroscience was insane. So shout out to Dr. Martin for being an excellent educator throughout that time. As we entered our second year, we began a hybrid system of remote and in-person learning. Having to balance learning the necessary skills of the physical exam while also, being a good public health practitioner was definitely an acquired skill. But hey, the hot boy, hot girl walks throughout Forest Park weren't too bad, I guess.
We discovered that we would be the last class to have a 3-digit Step 1 score before it switched to pass-fail. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our third year, where our class infamously went through 7 blocks of clinical rotations while adhering to COVID protocol without one break. Not one. Not one. But we still advocated well enough for ourselves to prevent it from becoming a precedent for other classes. All of these moments done with just a sprinkle of existential crisis and anxiety about our future.
And of course, we can't forget about the biggest hardship of them all, Dr. Miller's sports analogies. But just like all good baseball players, getting to first base is only the first step to getting a touchdown. I'm sorry, I'm not as good at the sports analogies. But as we all know, you guys, we are all so resilient, we're adaptable, so what more from here? I'm in the same stage as you all, so take this as you will, but I implore each and every one of you to try to now integrate love into every interaction of your life and your career. Not just to survive anymore, but to be that needed warmth to your patients' lives, to be that little cherry on top, to make sure that you are that inspiration to do good just for the sake of it.
And while we should cherish these experiences, an attending of mine once said that we shouldn't focus so much on the tree that we lose sight of the forest. These moments have laid a strong foundation and will serve as a springboard for our future success.
Though we're all going to different specialties and places, we hope you remember the colleagues sitting next to you, and rest assured that that connection as SLU Med graduates will always be a landmark that your mind can go back to in times of stress.
Now, we're not going to leave you with any more empty platitudes or some profound message that will forever alter your outlook on life.
Anymore.
Instead, I ask that you continue to do what you've always done: adapt, persevere, and grow. I'm aware that this is no easy request, but if there's anyone that can do it, it's the class of 2023. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, David and James. I'm never going to live down that clerkship here, am I? It's all right. We will now proceed with the recitation of the Hippocratic Oath. It is our tradition that the graduating seniors choose the physician whom they would like to lead them in this pronouncement. They have chosen to invite Dr. Fred Rotnick, Professor and Director of Community Medicine, to lead them in the oath.
I invite all physicians and soon-to-be physicians to stand and join us in a spirited recitation of the Hippocratic Oath. Now, being admitted to my profession of medicine and dedicating my life to service upon my honor and before God, I freely make these promises. I will carry out the regimen which, according to my power and discernment, shall be for the benefit of my patients. I will keep them from harm and wrong. To none will I give a deadly drug, even if solicited, nor offer counsel to such an end. I will maintain the utmost respect for all human life. I will respect and show gratitude to my deserving teachers, and in as far as reasonably I can, shall teach the science and art of medicine by precept, lecture, and other modes of instruction to those who are worthy. My own life and my professional practice I will keep guiltless and right. Even under threat, I will not use my knowledge contrary to moral law. I will keep silence regarding that which, within or without my practice, I shall see or hear in the lives of others, which should not be made public, holding such things unsuitable to be spoken. When skill or knowledge greater than mine will benefit my patient, I will seek assistance or advice, nor will I refuse my aid or my counsel to other physicians. I will not permit considerations of race, religion, nationality, party politics, social standing, or financial circumstances to interfere with my attending my patient. I will maintain the honor and noble traditions of the medical profession, its highest ideals. As long as I shall keep these promises inviolate, may I continue to practice of my profession and be respected for all time. Should I violate them, may the reverse be my lot.
Please be seated. Graduates, now let us recognize those individuals who provided unconditional support through your journey and deserve our thanks. Parents of the graduates, congratulations. What a remarkable journey to see your sons and daughters accomplish this prominent achievement. Graduates, many parents have watched you grow and mature into the professionals that you are today. You have indeed made them proud. The sacrifices have been many, and today the reward is great. Would the parents of the graduates please stand and be recognized? Partners and children of the graduates, you've been an integral part of their career development. Few know the sacrifices of a medical student until you live with them day and night. Thank you for your constant love and support. Partners and children of the graduates, please stand and be recognized. And family members, brothers, sisters, relatives, and friends who've been there for our graduates in many different ways, please stand so that we may recognize you today. and faculty. You have devoted your careers to medical education, and the fruits of your labor are evident in this graduating class. Thank you for your contributions. Please stand and be recognized. Doctors, new physician graduates of St. Louis University School of Medicine, we've been honored to be your teachers and colleagues over the years. We hope that you'll go forward with the curiosity to seek the answers to clinical questions each day and the honesty to admit the limits of your knowledge to patients and peers. Above all, we know that you will treat each patient, staff, and colleague with respect and compassion. With this cura personalis, care for the whole person, you will bring the world the best of St. Louis University School of Medicine.
I would like to invite Dr. Tim Havens, Assistant Dean of Clinical Skills for St. Louis University School of Medicine, to the podium to give the spoken benediction.
Physicians of the class of 2023, may the Lord, the source of all healing, bless you and keep you. May he give you gratitude in the calling of medicine even when it is hard. May he strengthen you and your loved ones through your long hours of service. May he give you courage, discipline, and integrity to choose what is right even when it conflicts with what is easy. May he give you joy in every aspect of the work of healing. And may he sustain in you the love and humility necessary to care for others all through your careers in medicine and the rest of your lives. Amen.
Would the School of Medicine chorus please come forward for the musical benediction?
And
I would like to thank the pre-commencement day marshals, Dr. John Martin and Dr. Sharon Fry, as well as Ms. Regina Leaders and Ms. Judy Renner-Slement, who coordinated today's ceremony. Please give them a round of applause. I ask that you please remain in your seats until the stage party, followed by the graduates, have exited. God bless you and have a safe and remarkable journey. Before we leave the stage, one last congratulations to the St. Louis University School of Medicine class of 2023.